Hey, friends, this is our podcast, and we're so glad that you're here to be a part of the podcast.
Welcome to the podcast. Thank you guys for listening.
And today we talk about some very important things.
We do.
Things like 40 Winks lounges.
These sleep pods.
You're like, what's a 40 Wink lounge? Man, we need one. I'll just tell you that. And when you hear it, you'll
know about it.
Yeah. Other things to talk about, the Brady Bunch Christmas movie, which is not a Brady Bunch Christmas movie.
But it's something coming to Lifetime, so let's get our thoughts on that. And then it really is just our thoughts on Lifetime after a while.
It's true. Pet anxiety.
Aww.
President Biden driving trucks. Man, we've got two viruses that are back in the news.
Back-to-back virus stories.
Wow.
It's passing.
Yeah. Let's see. We also talk cicadas, playing with other people's controllers and colors, and the spicy chicken something. We'll leave that as a surprise.
Ooh, coming to chip form. There it is.
We hope that you guys have a great day. Thanks
for listening. And if you're listening over the weekend, hopefully you guys have a wonderful weekend. And we will catch you guys again for our next podcast on Monday.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You almost missed hearing this one. We just couldn't let that happen. The worst of the riot. Radio U.
I think that we should really consider doing some things here at Radio U, a couple of upgrades. Now, we've talked about the idea of a Coke Freestyle machine.
That's a big one. I don't know if that one's possible, but
yeah.
Maintenance-wise.
Well, I think it is possible. I just feel like we're not willing to make it a priority.
We would need like a freestyle fundraiser this summer.
Yeah.
and we would have to continue to do it every year for the maintenance cost.
And I'm open to that.
Yeah, it depends on if they're open to that.
I'm open to it.
It's them, though.
But something else we might consider is, the Radio U 40 Winks Lounge.
What is that?
Well, I'll tell you, it's something that has opened up at Heathrow Airport, which is in London. Mm-hmm. But you know what, Nikki? this is just a starting point for us.
These are just ideas.
And they have these little nap pods.
Yeah, they're little chairs.
Yeah, did you see the picture of them?
It's a chair that kind of extends out like a lounger.
Yeah, it almost looks like a dentist chair in some ways.
Yeah.
But imagine it being really comfortable. And you can close this. Oh, my gosh, it looks so comfortable.
It is a pod that's in the British Airways First Lounge Terminal 5. It is a first chair, they say, is designed exclusively for getting a power nap.
Yeah, now it's only for first class ticket holders.
We're not good enough to have a power nap
We're going to keep out the riffraff.
You can go into the chair and set like a nap duration. Pretty much mostly, though, they program for a 20-minute nap.
So it's called an energy pod. See, doesn't that sound great? I don't think we should put it in the studio because reasons.
Well, we're just not allowed.
Well,
whenever there's a couch in the studio,
it's not a good idea.
It's not the best.
It's not a good idea, but
out there it'd be perfectly fine.
That's right, it would. Or, maybe just upstairs, just right there in the middle.
You don't need to pre-book when it comes to this. It's just first come, first serve if you want the little nap lounger.
I love it. I mean, how much? Okay, right now, you and I, how much would you be willing to pay if I said, Nikki, for blank amount of dollars, you just go to the nap pod, I'll handle the show?
Well, is there a money amount you can put for that? Or is this when you call on like the power of friendship compels you to let me go take a nap in the pod?
You at least owe me this.
I know. Just give me this one.
Just let me have a nap. All right. Gosh.
So is there a price for it? Or I wonder how much they actually are.
There actually isn't a price for it. So I don't know if it's like, hey, if you're a first class passenger, you just get to go have this or what, but
it's the Concord Room Terminal 5, which is first class ticket holders, and then coming once there's travel restrictions easing more, it should be in New York's JFK Terminal 7.
Wow, now it is in Terminal 7.
I think if you mosey on over to IKEA, this looks a lot like one of their chairs. You can combine the Gufusta and the board and put the two together, and you could make this chair at home for fractions of the cost that they're paying for theirs.
You'll have the Gernapper pod.
Oh my gosh, the Gernapper pod.
Sounds great.
You get that if you Swedish meatballs. Like, I think we could make it work.
I'm ready. Let's go.
So just because this is not in our area does not mean we can't make our own nap pod.
We've done you a favor by selecting the best of the worst and compiling it all in one place. Riot Podcast RadioU.
Nikki, I'm going to have to put you in the uncomfortable position of being the spokesperson for all pets owners.
Oh, sure. Well, I have pets, and I'm the only one in the room who does.
So when we talk about how anxious our pets are, does that speak to you?
My dog Rollo is just an anxious breed, and it is just bad.
Where do we cross the line between, Rollo has anxiety and that's just Rollo's breed?
Well, it is. The breed is known for it. I had to get him an anxiety coat to wear at certain times, like a little wraparound.
Was it weighted?
Yeah, I like to kind of feel a little bit. And he's shaking his head. I'm shaking my head too.
I'm shaking my head because I have a weighted blanket.
Dogs have them too. It's not like really weighted, but it just wraps around and makes him feel comfortable. And the dogs that are on every packaging for it are all the dogs that Rollo is. He's a soft-coated Wheaten Terrier.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, it's Rollo. And I was like, oh, hey, it's Rollo.
There's a reason.
There's a reason. So the breed is just known for it.
When you put it on him, does he calm down?
Not necessarily. It's more when the pills I give him that calms him down. He only needs it if he goes and does something.
I also take pills.
Oh my
gosh.
He doesn't take him every day. It's only he's fine unless someone delivers something, walks in front of our house. He has to go get a bath or a haircut.
He's
Those
fine
sort of
unless
things.
the sun comes out.
I know. Outside of that, he's perfectly fine. He just likes to sleep. But anxiety in dogs are just like in humans.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just looking here. This is a write-up on how last year, well, really 2019, was an enormous breakout year for CBD for pets.
Sure.
And they say that it's becoming a massive industry.
Well, I think people were at home to see their pets and notice that maybe they had anxiety.
Sure.
Or the dogs developed and got more, it became worse because everybody was at home and now they're not.
Yeah, now they're leaving and your dog's just like, listen, I just need a
moment. Come here. Just give me a hit.
Just a little puff pass for Rollo,
I tried to give him CBD peanut butter one for doggies in the beginning, but this was when he was just younger and he threw up an hour later. So I never gave it to him again because I was afraid I was going to kill him. I was like, did I give him too much? And he didn't even calm down. It wasn't worth it.
No, it made him, what do you call it? Paranoid.
Yeah, I was so anxious because I thought I killed him. I thought I gave him too much. Oh, it's a hard thing with dogs, isn't it? It is. Pet owners.
All right. Well, just let you know, if that CBD thing, it's turning into big money. That's where you're at.
People like me who are going to buy it.
The Riot isn't all bad, but this is the worst of the Riot. RadioU.
You guys know that Nikki's long-term dream is to die on Mars.
No, I don't even want to travel there.
But you got to baby steps, all right?
Sure.
They say it's I want to lose 100 pounds. Don't lose 100 pounds. Lose 5.
So you're saying that instead of Mars, I should be looking at traveling to an island or just taking a vacation?
You should be thinking about Blue Origin.
Blue Origin?
Yeah. That is the Jeff Bezos tourism and space
one?
stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They're saying.
Is it 2 days?
Well, let's talk about opening.
Unless the post office gets involved, then you get one extra day.
Man, don't even get me started. So they're saying that with Jeffy and his stuff, $1.4 million.
Ooh, to get on it?
That's the minimum opening bid. They're auctioning off.
Oh, well. Oh, well. Guess I don't have to.
So they say that on July 20th, they're going to go beyond the Kármán line.
So, yeah, because some people that go up, it's the thing. They go
curvature of
they're
the
only
Earth.
going there.
So far, yeah.
It's not like you're really going. I mean, you are, but you're not like going into space.
So they're saying that it will cross the 62-mile point above sea level that is recognized as the boundary between Earth and space.
Yay.
They have had 5,200 bidders from 136 countries.
But again, if you win, you have to pay the money.
Well, yeah.
Well, it feels like a contest if you get to bid and
No. You just
you have to pay all that.
You just got to have the money to bid on it. So you'll be in a capsule on top of the Blue Origin booster. So you know what? I was just going to say think Saturn V, but that didn't help anyone,
doesn't help
did it?
Anybody. Good try. Very good try.
Think a nuclear missile and you're on the tip.
There you go.
There. So you'll be able to, they say 6 people, but somebody in there is going to have to know how to make the thing work. You'll have 3 minutes of free fall, and then you return to Earth. So it's not
a long trip.
It's not going to be a super long trip. But, I mean, what an experience, right? There's a lot of roller coasters I get on. They don't last 3 minutes.
I know, and you wait how long? And hey, who goes to theme parks and feel like you're paying $1 million? So it's pretty much the same.
This is the full and final expression of the theme park experience.
This is it. This is just like Disney, all right?
Oh, my gosh.
Actually might be a bit more affordable than going to Disney.
Oh, it's so spot on.
Oh, well, I mean, if that is your thing and you have extra millions of dollars, then this must be quite a thing to try to get.
Then I got an idea. Why don't you buy yourself a really nice VR headset and then just give the rest of the money to me? Boom.
I know. To think that's their extra spending money too. Like they have way more than that.
This is, oh my gosh.
Oh, so it's June or July, you said?
They're saying, I think it's July 20th. Okay. The auction finalizes on June 12th. The trip into space, July 20th.
Cool.
So best of luck, everybody.
The equivalent of someone's lint collection. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
So opening today in New York City, a brand new public park.
Yeah. Oh, I saw the pictures of it. It's really cool looking.
It looks awesome.
So we talked many times before about the High Line. It's the old, it would be like the railroad system, but like up
the
above.
Elevated trains.
Yeah, elevated trains. And then they turn that into a walking park. You would just go up the steps, and they're supposed to make it 2 stories eventually. But I didn't know they were doing this version.
I've never heard of it before, but it's, I mean, maybe it's because we don't live in New York.
You mean they haven't been telling us?
It's called Little Island, and it's open now. It opened at, quote unquote, 6 a.m. today, and it sits on the Hudson River at West 14th Street, and it says that the person who designed it is behind the vessel structure at Hudson Yards. So it was, $235 million to make this thing. And it literally is a little island. You walk across these bridges to get over to it. It has an outdoor amphitheater. Yeah. And then it's just got some public spaces. It's got a cool little bridge. And
they call it the floating High Line.
It's nice.
It's cool looking. What a great idea. That is so much money, though. My gosh.
Well, like
part of me is like, oh, this is great. And the other part's like, I don't know if that's worth it. So much money.
It seems like a lot of money for very little space. Mm-hmm. But again, if you've been inside New York City there in Manhattan, space is the thing they don't have.
Sure. Well, I don't remember her name, but is it Diane Von Furstenberg?
Certainly.
She's a designer, and it was her husband's dream to have this park. So they put in was it $17 or something million towards it?
Wow.
And then the Hudson River Park Trust put in $4 million. And then, oh no, wait, I'm sorry. The designer people did $235 million.
I was like, that really doesn't.
So they did that much.
City that put in
$17 million, and then the trust fund put in $4 million. That is so much money. But it's a tech baron guy, Barry Diller. I don't know if he's still alive anymore. I'm not sure, but it was his dream to have this, so they put the money in.
Well, Barry Diller, Phyllis Diller,
all that stuff,
Dilly bars, Big Dilly paid for all
neat.
this.
I mean, it's really cool looking when you see the pictures. The amphitheater's neat, the park's neat. That's a cool idea.
It really does look super cool. So now, Nikki, earlier in the show, when I was talking about, hey, we need to get a Coke freestyle machine and some of these napping things we've been looking at.
The nap pods that we were reading about at Heathrow Airport.
Yeah, I mean, we're not even in the $100,000 range. So when you compare that to this $265 million park, well, it just seems downright reasonable.
It is. This park has been in the works for over a decade. It was originally supposed to be, if you ever been to New York, Pier 54. It was supposed to replace Pier 54, which is on the west side in Manhattan. But then they came up with this idea.
I am not familiar with Pier 54. Studio 54.
You're not either.
I never went to that.
Just a name,
either. Yeah.
So that's it. It's cool to look up. So if you look up the floating High Line, that's just what they're kind of calling it, but that opened up today.
Well, you know what? Everyone in New York, have a good time. You should all go over there. I
feel like we've talked about a lot of expensive things in the last few minutes, like go to space for $1 million. Here, this park is $265 million. We need to find something more reasonable to talk about.
What are you saying? You need to borrow some of your dog's CBD?
If you've ever asked yourself, just how bad can it get? We've got your answer right here. Worst of the Riot, RadioU.
Does anybody know who the Brady Bunch is?
The TV show thing?
Like back from the
60s, 70s?
60s? When, you know what? Let's find out. When was the Brady Bunch on TV? The Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch is an American sitcom created by Sherwood Schwartz that aired from September 26, 1969 until March 8th, 1974. Mm-hmm. It is considered one of the last old-style family sitcoms.
Sure.
Ran for 5 seasons.
If you've never seen an episode, you probably have seen it somewhere or a clip of something. Or you've heard of it.
I've seen an episode of the Brady Bunch.
I'm sure they air it somewhere.
Yeah. Okay, so all of that, Nikki, to say that the Brady Bunch, 5 of the Brady Bunch stars will be back this winter.
For?
A Lifetime Christmas movie.
Okay, wait. Is it a Brady Bunch movie or just they're all starring in something?
They're all just starring in it, yeah.
Okay, but it's not a Brady Bunch thing.
No. You know, it's kind of sad. I mean, because it's on Lifetime, it'll be like, oh, actually, no. It'll be, I just found out you're my brother, so I have to kill you.
All sorts of twists and turns.
But it's actually his fault, obviously.
So they just booked all the actors in the same movie, even though it's not a Brady Bunch thing?
That's right.
All right, that's kind of odd.
They're all just showing up seeming like.
Now, they did that so that people will talk about it, which worked right here. Now, that's all we'll probably ever talk about it again until maybe it comes out.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm not exactly
Well, you're not a Lifetime person.
No. Or a Brady Bunch person. So when you lay these Venn diagrams over each other, you're like, hey, how come you're not on here?
How come Obi doesn't want to watch this?
I don't understand
I'm so
why they don't
surprised.
fit. I just thought it was an interesting bit of stunt casting because,
that's it.
As you know, Nikki and I, first, love Christmas. Second, we like to make fun of Hallmark Christmas movies. Mm-hmm. Probably because on some level, you like them.
I do. It's a formula. And it's very hard when you're...
No, it's not. Get out.
It is. And it's not like we're in that side of the industry, but we're in technically part of the entertainment industry where you really understand the formula behind it.
Oh, you see it.
Same thing with the casting by doing this. And it's very hard just to watch something and not think, well, they're using you. They're trying to get you. It's just hard to kind of watch some of that stuff when it is such a formula.
Yeah, but you know what? Okay.
Some of them are fun, though.
You're 65 years old. 70. You've been living off, your your whatever money from whatever.
From the Brady Bunch?
Somebody comes along, they're like, hey, you know what? Fly out here for a couple of weeks. We'll treat you like a movie star, and we'll pay you $25,000.
Come to Vancouver.
You know what? I'm going.
Yeah, I know you do it.
I'm in. So, like, you guys are going to walk around, pretend like it's Christmas in June.
Walk through the snow foam.
Like, sure.
Yeah, why not?
How much are you paying me? Great.
Yeah, you're right. It would be fun.
I would totally do that. So they got 5 of the stars to come and be a part of Blending Christmas, a Lifetime Christmas movie.
We don't get Lifetime, do we? No, it's not any of our networks.
You know what, Nikki? That's true on several levels.
Yeah, it's not just that we don't physically get the channel anywhere.
It's that
we also just don't get what they do.
I don't get it.
What you're about to hear will live on the internet forever. Sorry, internet. The worst of the Riot podcast.
So somebody passed us a video yesterday of President Biden driving the F-150.
It's the all-electric one, right?
Yes.
It's like
the F-150 Lightning, I think they're calling it.
Yeah, so it's not one that's out yet, but they were just showing it off. And is that like a prototype, or I don't know what word you would use with it, but They were showing it off in front of press. Like, hey, look at this. Quick to the F-150 Ford.
Now, Nikki, they're calling it a conspiracy theory, but like the video you and I saw,
it was on TikTok and it spread from there.
They're saying that it's kind of been doctored up, that's not true. I'm looking at Newsweek, who also reported on the secret shadow government earlier this week, or shadow army. But Newsweek is doing one of those fact check things.
Yeah.
They say that this idea that he was put in a car that had 2 wheels is not true.
Well, in this video, they were showing that when President Biden was driving the vehicle, that you had a Secret Service guy next to him,
right,
and that there's actually a wheel on that side of the car too, which is not uncommon, but that he was actually driving, President Biden wasn't.
And so he talks about wanting to drive the truck. He goes and drives the truck. They're saying that there were 50 members of the press corps there, and they're all saying, like, no, that was not what happened. And a guy from Jalopnik, that's actually a car blog that I read. He said, no, I drove the same truck he did. There wasn't a second steering wheel in there.
Well, that's not fun.
It's not as fun. That video,
not as fun as the other thing.
That video is crazy.
It's
like full on Maggie Simpson.
I know. You look at it, you're like, come on.
I'll have to say, you talk about having to talk your parents and grandparents down off the ledge when it comes to what they see on Facebook. That's what I felt like last night with that video. I was like, man, it's real. This video is real.
He can't even drive the car.
This guy's not driving. And then it's like, no, he is. And you're like, I don't know.
They're all in on it, Obi. They're all in.
But they are. The whole press corps.
Ford bought him off. I guess Ford doesn't want it to be about that.
Oh, man. You know what? The thing that makes it hard sometimes is this is a quote from, is this from the Detroit Free Press? Said the whole press corps was there, probably 50 journalists. He pulled up in front of all the journalists. He looked like Top Gun. He had his Ray-Bans on. And I was like, man, come on.
That's a bit flowery, isn't it?
They just like him.
I don't understand.
They just like him. So, and that's, you know what? Go for it. Sure. But it looks like, again, according to what we're seeing, no, Nikki, it's not true. There was not another guy in there driving the car for him. But
there was another guy in there.
But he wasn't doing the driving.
They say he wasn't driving the car.
So I actually, you can say what you want. Like, I trust the Jalopnik guy. If he's saying it, I think that's probably true.
I don't know. You'll do whatever it takes to stay in on the press thing. I don't know.
Are you in or out,
They
Jalopnik?
never would get invited at any other time, and they're just glad to be in with everybody else.
It's possible,
No,
right?
actually, they are a pretty reputable as far as we know.
Oh, man.
But I'm of the school of, like, I don't really care, but I just can't believe anything on any side.
No, you can't. And I'm telling you, like, I don't feel like I'm a sucker, but watching that video, I was like, wait. It was pretty good.
Where do you go when you need someone to listen to your problems and give you a big hug? Not here. Obviously. This is The Riot on Radio U.
We live in a sick society full of sick people. You guys are sick. What's wrong?
What's wrong with you? Did you look at the picture? What is it? Don't look. What is it?
Oh my gosh, it's so gross.
What is it? I want to see. What is so disgusting?
Oh my gosh. All right. You look at it. I'll bet you don't react like I do, but like, dude, that is some Temple of Doom disgusting
stuff. Let's see. Oh, the cicada stuff. Oh, on like cooking them and eating them.
I want you to scroll down and look at the first one. It's
who could eat that? Oh, they're all like, but maybe that's for the picture. Because at first
you put head between your legs.
Breathe. You're supposed to just breathe in and out. Okay.
Head between your legs. Okay. All right.
They basically, instead of like taking the shell off and stuff, they're just putting the bugs and just cooking with them whole. You are supposed to take the wings off, but they say that for the cicadas coming, people eat these things.
This is a bowl that was...
It's a protein bowl, Obi. Is that edamame? Is that peas? What is it?
Actually, you know what? I think that's exactly what it is. It looks like maybe some, what do you think, diced red pepper?
Yeah, so that maybe an onion or a shallot.
Something.
Some asparagus. It's a veggie protein bowl.
And then a bunch of cicadas. I could
never eat those.
I'm totally serious. That is like nightmare inducing right there. That is terrifying.
Some people eat bugs. Some people do it.
I'm like, this is such a great opportunity for us to eat these bugs that are coming out. Oh, gosh.
Just scroll down
there
for
they
more.
Are frying. Oh, dude, that's gross.
Do you think some people would go out, like, since there's supposed to be so many of these things, and just like freeze them to eat them at other times?
Cut them later?
Yeah, you could have like the whole... your whole year of protein all in the freezer.
Man, I'm not kidding. Like, legit, that really grosses me out.
It must not be bothered by it.
I am. Over here.
Are you going to stand up for that? You're grossed out.
This guy right here.
They're saying that it's fine to eat cicadas. They say that they're high in protein.
Wrong. They're so wrong.
They have a reasonable amount of minerals like iron, zinc, and vitamins. It depends on the insect and what they've been feeding on when they were underground for 17 years.
And what are you going to ask them? So, hi, cicada. For the last 17 years, you've been underground. Eating? Could you talk to me about your diet?
Well, yeah, just have a conversation with it. They're soft. They say you want to get the young ones just emerging from the ground because they sometimes don't have wings. So you don't want to get the old ones.
What?
And then they don't have the pesticides because remember these things are underground in most areas. So the cicadas have been sucking up all the pesticides you put in your grass and in the wooded areas.
Yes, well, it certainly does suck.
They're a sustainable alternative protein source, and people eat insects, so they're going to eat those.
I can't.
I know you're shaking your head. You're not going to. That's a no, nope. Right?
No. Here's what it's gonna take. It's gonna be like, listen, we're starving. There's no food. There's nothing. Starve. No. Eventually, because here's what happens.
Eventually, you'd break down.
Eventually, your body takes over. Okay. That's what happens.
Sure.
Like you just.
But we're not to that point. We got a lot. We got a lot of stored weight before we get to the point where we're starving and we have to eat that.
Yeah.
They say take them home, freeze them, which humanely kills them. So put them in the freezer first, and then they just go to sleep. And when you are ready to cook them, boil them for 2 minutes to get the dirt off. Roast, saute, or fry the cicadas. Put them in noodles, veggies, rice. That's just cook them up.
Do you think that you could like make up some noodles, and if you didn't look?
No, I wouldn't eat them. No. They also say they're good with a cold beer. No, I'd have to be out of it. Ahead of time.
They're good after you've had an entire bottle of vodka.
I'd have to have the whole factory, the whole thing.
Once you're pass out drunk, you'll be fine.
So then you have a sustainable source of protein, but you're just having a severe alcohol problem then.
You die at the age of 25 because your liver has been completely destroyed.
So it's something. The cicadas have started in the southern states. We haven't seen them where we're at, but I'm sure we will be faced with the temptation of eating them when we see them.
Here, hold my hand. We need to pray.
What's worse than the worst of the riot? The worst of the riot podcast. Yeah. You did this to yourself. Podcast. Riot. RadioU.
Listen, if you're feeling like you need a nap, I just want to say welcome to the party, pal, because the riot is always in need of a nap.
The line is long for everybody who's waiting to get a nap today.
The thing is, like, Nikki and I are not in the kind of space where it's like, I'll take a nap and catch up. It's more like, I'll need to take an 8-hour nap. You know what?
I'll need another day.
Stay in bed.
That's exactly.
But Matul Patel, he lives in Illinois, and he's like us, Nikki. He needs a little nap. So he was barreling down the freeway, so they say, in Kenosha County, Illinois, 82 miles per hour. He's, he's driving his new Tesla.
Oh, did he have it on? He wasn't driving.
It was on auto.
Oh, man. You can't do that, especially when you're tired.
He was asleep.
He was?
Letting the car drive.
Oh, no. That's not what they're meant to do yet.
That's not what you're
supposed to be doing. We're not there yet. Maybe one day in the future, but we're not there.
Yeah.
Did it crash or did he get in trouble?
No, the police saw him. And so they're like, that guy.
He's sleeping.
I mean, it's one of those things where he was speeding.
Yeah.
So that got their attention. It took them almost 2 minutes to get him to pull over.
Because he was asleep.
Because he was asleep.
How do you make that worse? Be asleep at the wheel.
I
feel like you get your license taken away with that, maybe. Or at least your insurance would find out and then they would not insure you anymore.
This is his third ticket for speeding.
With that?
Yeah. I will say this. A friend of mine got a Tesla and I drove it. That is the easiest car to speed in I have ever encountered.
Well, don't you set the speed, though? Or how? I mean, otherwise it would keep going faster and faster.
I'm sure that's a thing.
Yeah.
But I never played around with that functionality. And so just driving it can go insanely fast.
And it's smooth.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
And yes, it's very smooth. We were driving. I was going 75 and a 70, guilty. And it was just like, if you had told me we were going 30, I would have believed you. It was quiet. There was tons of power. And it was just this weird, we're not moving. And there's no engine noise.
Sure.
So it's
with
weird.
Everybody else's car, it starts to show its age a bit. The faster you go, it starts to give a little wiggle, a little movement to where your car knows, like, hey, we're pushing it.
Yeah.
Why are we going so fast?
Yeah.
Well, that's dangerous, dude. He needs his license waived. That's his next one.
He got a citation for inattentive driving. I didn't know that was a thing. It's an $188 fine. And he has to have his car towed.
Yeah, you can't keep driving it.
Yeah. So, and they say inattentive driving, they're going to have to end up getting something else on the books for that because this guy, he's driving.
That's asleep driving. That's different. If you did that with your normal car, you'd just crash. But with an automatic driving car, like, that has to have a different name.
So they're saying, like, okay, even though you've got auto drive, you're required to remain awake at the wheel. And so, yeah.
Well, they don't know until you do it first and then you ask for forgiveness.
I guess. I mean, I can tell you, like, I could put the show in auto and sleep right now. No problem.
I know, but no matter how tired we are, we're not falling asleep in the car. We're not doing that.
No, don't. Just, you know what? I know so many of you are driving your Teslas right now on your way to where you're going. And I'm just telling you to, don't fall asleep at the wheel, friends.
A lot of people where my place is, like, so many people have gotten Teslas.
Oh, really?
In like the last, I'd say maybe pre-stimulus, right around that time.
Okay, sure.
And I don't know if stimulus money went towards it, but everybody has them now. And they go pretty quick.
Not everybody.
Well, we don't, and I don't. I don't know, but I see them all, like, pulled in their garage charging.
They are really dang cool, though.
And I see everybody with their extension cords and stuff. So there it is.
Why not?
The Riot. Just because it's bad doesn't mean it's not good. Wait, isn't that exactly what it means? It's The Riot on RadioU.
we must be doing better when it comes to this whole COVID-19 thing, because now I'm starting to see news about other sicknesses coming back.
Oh, actually, that's a good thing to notice.
So,
not that it's good that people are getting the sicknesses, but like you can tell.
Do we feel better about that? Like, oh, we're talking about norovirus again. Yay!
No, because we don't want any of that. But I feel like a lot of people did not get any other sicknesses this past winter when the flu or colds and stuff were more popular or more prevalent. But masks seems to really help that.
Seems to have helped in no, Nikki, the government's underreporting the numbers. They're inflating everything. I heard a thing where one time I had toe fungus and they just called it COVID.
They did. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we didn't get all the other stuff we normally get every winter.
I also heard that hospitals were killing people just to get their grant money. They had to have a certain number of people that died or had COVID.
No, but like all over TikTok are the ones where it's like, hey, you lived through COVID, but then allergies are what's going to take you out. But allergies, no matter what, are always there.
Let me tell you what. They're not wrong.
They're not wrong. No one's reporting on that.
They're not wrong.
Put that in the COVID numbers.
Well, Nikki, our old friend Chipotle are at it again. Now, they have not publicly commented, and they're like, well,
Well, how do they have norovirus? A lot of the places, well, I guess they are sometimes open inside.
Well, according to Food Safety News, they're reporting on a dozen people in Aurora, Colorado that have come down with what they believe to be is the norovirus.
Woo!
And what these 12 people have in common?
They all ate at Chipotle?
They all ate at the same Chipotle.
6710 South Cornerstone Way.
In Aurora, Colorado.
Call it and tell it which one it is.
Look, we know what you're doing down there.
They say 5 high school students and 6 other people came down. The norovirus symptoms.
Remember?
You don't want that. Vomiting.
Remember?
Potty problems. Pain in the tummy area, low-grade fever, and body aches.
Yay.
There's only so many. It seems like everything you get has those same symptoms.
Well, your body can only do so much.
That's it.
That's what, and I mean, part of that is your body fighting off the infection, right?
Yeah,
Isn't
I think
that the way
it
that
is.
works?
They say the family people, like everybody involved, a lot of them experienced stuff 36 hours after eating. One family said after eating 3 burritos, a burrito bowl, and a small soft taco from Chipotle.
Well, I hope you guys had a big family.
Well,
I mean, not to get all judgy,
but that's for the whole family. Like that's not a huge order there. Oh, and that one, an 8-year-old daughter had to be admitted to urgent care because of dehydration.
You know how she got dehydrated?
You know what? Vomiting in the other one. There it is. If you're
that's
sick,
a real bummer.
If you start not feeling good, you got to start hydrating. They say that's the best thing possible.
You've got to.
Well, I don't want to talk about norovirus anymore. I don't want that to be back in the news.
Man, you're missing it, Nikki. This is great news. If we can talk about noro, that means COVID must be, getting low.
They say this is not for Chipotle the first time they're being investigated for making people sick. They had a lot of issues in 2015. That was kind of like their year of it's been identified, but still allegedly, let's just say, their E. coli outbreak. And then they were blamed for a lot of others, including E. coli, salmonella, and norovirus.
Yay.
The 3.
Who wants a burrito bowl for lunch today?
It's so frustrating because, I feel like they're a bit overpriced, and so you're paying way too much money to get food that's not even staying in your body, and then you're getting sick.
You know what? It's a cleanse.
It's terrible.
Put down the plastic and throw the water bottles in the bathroom. You wouldn't want to get dehydrated.
Riot Podcast, RadioU.
Now, remember, now that COVID is moving out, we're allowing other pieces to move back in. So we were just talking about the norovirus. Got another one for you. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's talk about salmonella. Let's talk about the chickens. The CDC has put out, is it yearly? Is it twice a year? How many times do we have to say this? Don't kiss the chickens.
That seems to be and you're like, oh, like the chicken if you're cooking it? No, nope. I mean like actual chickens.
There have been, according to the CDC, 163 people across 43 states that have reported salmonella. Now, of course, those are very low numbers, but
some people maybe they don't get reported. They could be higher.
I'm sure that's true. But nobody's died, though salmonella can kill you. So it is serious. They say a third of those that have been sick have been children under the age of 5.
Because they're kissing chickens?
Stop kissing
chickens.
You
need to watch those kids.
They say
I think the rest are like weekends with people who are like, they said not to. Let's see what happens.
Hey, you know what?
Bring the chicken over here.
Have you guys ever played Kiss the Chicken? Anybody? All right.
Spin the bottle is the old thing. It's like, no, this is Kiss the Chicken.
It's so fun.
Oh, gosh.
All right. If you can kiss this chicken, you can catch grease lightning.
Gross.
So they say that basically if you're under the age of 5 or over the age of 65,
it's really dangerous.
It's much more dangerous. And so they're putting out this warning. And again, obviously, Nikki and I don't want anybody to get noro or salmonella or
COVID or anything. We don't want any of this stuff.
But the fact that this, which wouldn't even have made news a while ago, is in the news, shows you things must be getting better.
Well, for us,
they're just not allowed to tell us what's really going on.
What's going on? I think for us, it's just very weird because we don't really have chickens around us to begin with, so they're already taken care of by the time we see them.
Nikki, you had a
chicken
whole
finger
fleet
form.
of chickens next door.
No, he had like some sort of pheasant bird or a chicken hybrid sort of thing. I don't think his was like chickens.
Okay.
Like the ones I see sometimes when you go out a bit outside of the city.
They were genetically modified.
There was something else.
It was the head of a dog with the body of a chicken.
But you guys must be so many more temptations.
The legs of a cheetah.
If you live in an area where you're allowed to have chickens.
Well, this is just one more thing the government's telling you not to do.
Even though I'm such an animal person, if I did and like say we had them for eggs or something, I'd probably go out each morning and be like, hi guys. And then you're just tempted to give them a good morning kiss.
Not a good morning kiss.
You develop an attachment to them.
Think about it like this. You and I have been at this for a long time. No good morning kisses. We put the gloves on. We shake hands. That's what you do with the chickens.
Little pat on the chicken head.
You
So
put
thanks
the
for the
glove
eggs.
on, tap the head, and you get out.
But don't give them a kiss. You don't want to get sick.
They say don't kiss, and also, and this is going to be the hard one. Okay, don't tell. Yeah, all right. Then third place, don't snuggle.
Well, can't you do anything?
No.
You just can't do anything
You can
at all.
eat them.
I know. We know that. But these are probably egg chickens. You don't eat them yet.
That's listen, that right there, that's the ultimate expression of love, right?
You don't kill them?
You eat them.
Oh, you eat them. The most sacrifice.
Now they're really with you.
No, that means they love you the most.
The Riot with Obadiah and Nikki on RadioU.
Let's see. So far, the advice that we've been able to share recently has been don't eat at Chipotle and don't kiss and or cuddle the chickens.
No one wants to get sick. The Chipotle thing's at your own risk, but they're just back in the news from a potential norovirus thing again.
You want to hear this? I felt like every once in a while, like, okay, the kissing the chickens thing, we've heard it before. Noro at Chipotle, we've heard it before. But every once in a while, there's a news story that pops up and we're just like, well, that's weird.
Didn't know that was possible.
So, you know how there's been all this stuff going on with stock at GameStop?
Yeah.
So, like, they've been shorting the this and doing the that. I haven't paid a ton of attention to it. But one of the things I saw yesterday was a news story about the fact that the Mormon church, the Church of Latter-day Saints, they own $8.7 million
in cryptocurrency?
In GameStop stock.
Why?
Well, so
where's that come from?
They apparently, as part of their, and some nonprofits do this, they'll take some of their contributions for, let's say, like, what do you call them? Like pensions or retirement, like
and
whatever.
They invested in something.
They invested in a fund
and they
all
keep
that kind
the
of
rest.
stuff. Yeah, I didn't say that.
What?
Who?
Who? What? I don't know.
What's my name again? I can't remember.
Well, they're just, utilizing your money while they're holding it.
But it's just funny because they were talking about, like all these different people and things that have made money. But their initial investment, like the money they had, was $860,000. It has swollen through all this stuff to $8.7 million.
That's amazing.
I know.
It's amazing.
I know, but it's just...
What do you got to do to get some of that money? No comment again?
I'm not going to answer that question.
Sure.
I'm not going to answer that question. We're good.
We should have invested our own money back then. I'm too afraid to do that. I don't want to invest in... And you're like, well, you have to try in order to get some money back.
Right.
No, because if you don't, you're keeping the money that you still, it's like playing the lottery. Like a lot of times the people you don't hear about, they're the ones losing.
It is a little more informed, so let's say, than the lottery. But I've done a little bit of stock trading, and one of the things that I felt like was a good piece of advice or whatever is just that you have to decide how much money you're willing to lose. And that's your marker, where it's like, okay, I'm going to invest $100. If I lose that $100, I can still eat tomorrow.
Yeah, but it's hard because then if you get in, then your $100 threshold becomes like, no, I can risk it more.
Well, but again, it comes down to, as Teddy Padillac once said, we're playing with your money.
And they are literally playing with your money.
But you would say like, you do things where it's like, okay, I'm going to pull this much out now. I'm going to leave this much in and all that kind of stuff. And so, I mean, I think there's a way to do it intelligently. I also think there's a lot of people that don't do that.
They don't. Well, I mean, we're just using apps and we're just jumping in at hot times when Gamestop was so, making so much with it that you just have to be smart about it. But yeah, looks like it was the Mormon church, you said?
Yeah.
They made some cash on that, didn't they?
It's just weird. It's just an odd story. It just popped up, and I was like, wait, what?
They had money in on the GameStop stock.
Who owns part of GameStop? Like, my friend who works at the gas station in my hometown.
Yeah.
And the Latter-day Saints. So, like, whatever.
So if you're like, how'd they build that? Where'd that money come from? Well, some of it's from that.
Big GameStop paid for all this.
All that stuff right there.
Obadiah and Nikki tried their hardest, and that's what really matters. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
The Funko Pop. You guys know that it's always out there.
Tempting.
It's always tempting me.
Did you ever get your Seinfeld ones, or when are those supposed to come in?
They're not out yet. They're supposed to be out, I think, in mid-June. And I really hope that I don't end up like canceling my pre-order or whatever, because I have ordered them.
Yeah.
But they did this whole thing where they did a launch day for orders. And so I got in and ordered the stuff I wanted, but I ordered several of their T-shirts because, believe it or not, their T-shirts are fantastic. They're a little pricey, but they hold up.
The quality is good.
Really well. And so I was like, yeah, I'll just take a couple of these. And all but one of those got canceled. So, they oversold the pre-order.
I don't know. I'm not in as much like with details on Funko Pop, but I feel like, are there some Funko Pops that are not like they're licensed, but they're not like they're just sold in smaller sort of side batches, or like they're not? Are they just not licensed ones? Because I feel like there's the ones that they push, and then there's these random smaller characters that, like, are those real Funko Pops or what?
Funko Pops are essentially baseball cards or like whatever. What they do is it's like so many other things like that, where they'll license certain characters that are only available at certain stores, or there will be a variant that's only available. So like they did that with the Seinfeld characters, where it was like, okay, you can get like the base ones everywhere, but there were different outfits or character variations that you could only get at certain places.
So why would they pre-sell it so far in advance? Why wouldn't they just sell it when they had them actually made? Or were they trying to figure out how many to make?
You know what?
Or is that just controversy about Funko? Like,
I don't know.
It just seems so like you ordered those so long ago. Like, why wouldn't they be made by then?
Well, I have never in my life pre-ordered a Funko Pop, and I've gotten to the point now where I own 1, 2, 3. I own 5.
Yeah.
No, it's 6. I do own 6. That is
That's the number?
I own 6.
But you're going to have more.
It'll go to 10 with the arrival of the Seinfeld characters.
I think I have a Facebook friend I've recalled seeing in the past where he must have ordered one, and I think it took like a year or so to get there.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, why wouldn't they have just waited to sell it then?
I don't know. You know what? I have some Funko news and kind of a question. So if you know anything about Funko, you got to hang with us for just a couple minutes because
and don't be embarrassed if you have a lot of them.
They just announced something else.
Sure.
That I'm like, what's that like? So we'll talk about it in a couple minutes. Text or call 877-2-RADIO-U if you have some Funko wisdom. And if you want us to not disclose your name, just put that in the text.
No, that's only if you're asking, like, how many do you have? What's your Funko number?
You don't have. That's a thing.
Is that a private thing?
That's a thing.
You don't have to share that.
You know, I got suckered in. They made Tron ones, and then they made a Paul Atreides one from Dune.
Oh, you don't have too many.
And
I think 6 is fine.
Mystery Science Theater guys, they sit right down there by the TV.
You're at a normal, healthy amount.
So far.
Giving every novelty food the publicity it so blatantly desires. It's The Riot on Radio U.
So we were talking about Funko Pops, but Funko has started doing more than those Funko Pops. And if you don't know what they are, they're the little, like, what are they, 3 inches tall?
They always reminded me of, like, it's a bobblehead that's not a bobblehead.
Yeah.
It's just a little collector character.
And they make bobbleheads.
Oh, they do?
They do.
I didn't know that.
They do a little bit of both. So the other thing that they've started making, and for all I know, they've been at this for a while, but I've only just started seeing them, are board games. Or what they would call a tabletop game.
Yeah, that's the more popular word.
Right. So I actually bought one of their tabletop games.
You did?
A couple of weeks ago. I haven't even opened it yet. It sold out, so I had to wait for it to come in, whatever. So I have this Godzilla game that's a tabletop game. And I mean, I don't know what it retails for, but I only paid like $12 for it. And they've just announced that they're going to continue offering more of these tabletop experiences.
There's a lot of money in that right now. People like tabletop gaming. It's been popular for maybe the last couple of years. And with everybody staying at home, it became more popular. And there's just a lot of money to be had in it.
Yeah.
So if you're not buying board games, then you're not doing it right.
What are you doing?
I played Ticket to Ride the other day. And
we played with Hudson. That's right. I was like, oh my gosh, have you ever played it? But
we played it a long time ago. And then I used to play it on the app, but I forgot how much I actually physically like the playing of that game.
It's fun.
Physically instead of just on the app. It's a great game.
Yeah. So I played a couple weeks ago Ticket to Ride Europe. Mm-hmm. That was fun.
Yep.
That definitely mixes things up quite a bit.
Eric knows more of them, but there's a lot of like dice game too. That's really popular.
Yeah, he got a lot of my money that way. So one of the things they announced was Goonies Never Say Die. So it's going to be a Goonies
tabletop
game. That's the old 80s movie that continues to be popular today. And it looks like a really nice...
Looks fun.
Set.
Yeah.
That comes to my question. This is why I was asking. And I would love for you to text or call 877-2-RADIO-U and tell us, is this any fun?
The tabletop or like specifically the Goonies game?
In general, have you played a Funko game? Is it fun? Like
it looks fun.
Don't take this the wrong way, but that means nothing. Do you know why?
We go by looks.
I know. No, you can't. Because, man, I've bought so many pieces of crap off the internet that I'm like,
this is all we can go by.
It looks so fun. And then when it shows up, you're like, I hate everything.
No, I'm just saying it looks better than I thought it would be, because to us, we don't know what's a big board game or like tabletop game company. Who's that going to be? Like whoever, like Monopoly stuff?
Nobody we know.
We don't know. So Funko could be a leader in that side of things and we wouldn't even know.
I know. That's why I'm saying if anybody's ever played one, I just want you to text and tell us if they're any good.
And if not, what other tabletop games do you like?
Oh gosh.
Oh, I know.
Now
that is opening up the can of tabletop games.
You just blew the place
Everybody
wide
has
open.
a fun one they like. They say you can pre-order this game at Target for $35. But I don't know if it's a Target exclusive. I'm not sure.
Oh, you know what? Keith just texted. I forgot. He's the guy that owns a board game store. He's texted us before. Mike says he's played the Godzilla one and it was a lot of fun.
Good. They're priced pretty good. I mean, it seems like it'll be some fun.
I hate like $30 to $40. Usually it's like $30 to $50 is a pretty good price for a board game until they go super mainstream. So like I bought that Ticket to Ride Europe as a gift for someone, and I got that on sale for, I think I paid $25 for that. So that was all right. But the real question is, are you having any fun?
Are we? Is anybody having any fun?
Is anybody anywhere having fun ever?
Well, text a yes or no to that. So text 877-2RADIO-U. If not, if you've done any of the Funko board games.
Yeah, I'd like to hear about it.
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Wow. You know what? This is just completely unrelated, but I saw that they're releasing a new PlayStation controller. It's just a different color. You have to pay an extra $5 to get a different color.
Yeah. Hey, you're talking to me, and I used to be the person who would always get the
You pay
thing
the pink tax.
in a different color, and it was always considered like the pink tax. It was bad.
What I think is really funny is this is so dumb, but they put out this press release and they're like, hey, we're going to put out a black controller, but of course they can't call it black. It has to be something like emerald or that's
charcoal.
Not right. Charcoal, onyx. I don't know.
Darker charcoal.
Whatever. And then
Midnight.
they're making a red one, which they call it crimson.
Yeah.
I've never wanted like a color controller. I've just been like, I don't care. Why would I care what color it is? I'm not looking at it. I'm playing the game. Just give me a stupid controller. I don't care. Something happened.
Uh-oh. Now you want the crimson one?
I'm not getting it. I mean, yet I might put it on
let's put a pin in what we just said right now. This is the seed that'll blossom into a tree of you getting that controller.
Oh, I said crimson. No, they said crimson. Sony says it's cosmic red. That's why it's space. The space calls to me.
Well, why don't you just sell your other one and get this? You're only out then so much.
You know what? I'm just going to, Nikki, it's May, but September's coming.
For your birthday, it seems like a good birthday gift.
That seems like a great birthday gift.
You could even wait till Christmas.
I could.
They'll be like, will anyone want the cosmic one? Could you buy it now?
Like, would you guys get it for me for the Christmas?
No, I found, though, that I used to get the different colored fun versions of things a long time ago. And then I realized I stopped when sometimes that can hurt your resale.
Oh, totally.
Because when you want to sell it, a lot of people just like the straight, more popular, basic colors. So I don't do that too much anymore, except that purple iPhone still looks nice. And the nice colored iMac ones.
Well, you know what? I actually got in a discussion with some peeps on Twitter about this very idea of, I said what you just said. I don't like to buy things in funny colors because my comment was, who would want an orange iMac? I would never buy an orange iMac.
Did that person want an orange iMac?
No. The response I got, I was surprised from so many people. Was like, why do you always talk about resale value? And I'm like, because flip this Mac.
Yeah.
Like, I never buy anything with the intention of keeping it. I always buy it with an eye for selling it.
Well, I mean,
always.
Even if you have it for a few years, that's one thing. But when you like to level up to the next one, you think about resale.
I do. Always do. So this would be, I do feel like to a certain extent, like in this case with controllers, that might be different just because, like, I don't sell a controller one-off. There's something about controllers that are gross. Like buying a used controller, I'm like, you nasty hands, you filthy whatever.
Well, it's not as bad as like selling like AirPods.
It's not underwear.
It's not.
But there's
it's not been in your ear.
About it. I get it, but there's something about it. I'm just like, I don't want your used controller. I have old controllers going way back.
Oh, you just never do anything with them?
I'm just like,
throw them away. What? Throw them away.
I'm just going to, everybody, let's all pretend we didn't hear that. Let's all pretend.
The Riot Radio U.
Now, Nikki, you're familiar with Pringles?
I am.
You're familiar with Wendy's?
I am.
You're familiar with what happens when the Wendy's Baconator gets shoved into a Pringle?
I didn't meet a lot of people that liked the Wendy's Pringle from last summer, the one for the Baconator.
Yeah.
We didn't really care for it as much. It fell a little flat because I wanted a Baconator.
You just wanted a burger.
I just wanted a hamburger, and I wanted the chip to taste exactly like it. So I don't know about this one. I'm not going into it thinking it's going to be amazing. And if it is, I'll just be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. Well, here we go. How about the spicy chicken sandwich Pringle?
That actually could work, I think, a little better because of the spiciness.
See, I agree with you because I'll tell you what. I feel like you put a little chicken bouillon, a little spice.
Done. Call it a day.
And I mean, like, you're not going to taste the lettuce, the tomato, the mayo, but you won't need to because you'll be overwhelmed by those two flavors.
Yeah, that's all they'll really put in there, which I think will work better than the Baconator one.
Like, I can see
wasn't that one like too smoky or like too? It wasn't even bacon. It was just like smoke and.
I felt like it had a strong liquid smoke and
onion maybe.
There is what bacon tastes like, and then there's like that fake bacon flavor. And that fake bacon to me is a mixture of liquid smoke and like I feel like it tastes burnt.
Yeah,
that's what I felt like. There was just too much of a burnt quality to the Baconator Pringles.
So the spicy chicken sandwich Pringle should be out next month, and they say it should replicate the fiery spice blend into a crunchy and convenient bite that satisfies the spicy thrill consumers can't get enough of.
It does look good.
So that's her quote. Oh yeah, the Pringle can looks great. Like, because again, we just want the spicy chicken sandwich.
You know what I just realized when I said it does look good? I was just looking at the chicken sandwich.
See,
I'm serious. I'm not. No joke.
The chicken looks good.
I started thinking about wanting that chicken sandwich.
So let's remember next month, everybody, in June, we'll try the Pringles Wendy's spicy chicken.
All right.
And doesn't it look funny? I like the art, the little Pringle face guy with the mustache. He's like crying and sweating.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be fiery.
Okay. Do you think that's round 1 or round 2?
Of
the
how
spice.
Many? Of the spice? I don't know. Is it, you mean like later?
It'll come back around.
It'll come back around.
I was just asking.
Not sure which one it is.
Okay.
This was the worst of the riot, and we'd like to congratulate you on having the stomach to stick around to the very end. The riot exists because Radio U exists, and Radio U only exists because of your support. Find out more and give now at RadioU.com/donate.
Go ahead and break a poo-poo-tov cocktail on me.